Forrest Gump is a fascinating movie. It captures you with its inspiring story and fantastic performance by Tom Hanks. But there's more to this film than an emotionally compelling narrative or stunning cinematography. At its core, Forrest Gump offers a life-altering philosophy that is very simple and yet incredibly powerful. The hero of the story is a man from Alabama who, despite his socially awkward personality or lower than average IQ, goes on to live a spectacular life and manage to achieve a lifetime success in any occupation he chooses to do. At first glance, you might think that this is a story about phenomenal luck. And it's no wonder, because whatever path this guy takes, somehow against all odds, everything turns out great for him. But in reality, luck has very little to do with it. The actual reason why Forrest keeps succeeding is that he simply doesn't know when to stop. And this is the main idea that the film tries to convey to us. Look, most movies follow certain universal rules. According to one of them, the main hero must face a challenge that is difficult to overcome. Without this challenge, the film will lose its driving force and the audience will get bored. I mean, who wants to see Andy Dufresne escaping Shawshank in the first week of his confinement, or Frodo taking the ring to Mordor on the top of an eagle? It's a useful rule and most of the time it works. Conflict moves the story, makes us care for the hero. But this rule does not apply to Forrest Gump. Forrest does everything pretty much effortlessly. He graduated from university, became a war hero, won a ping pong championship, founded a successful company, and met 3 presidents. This is probably the only film I've ever seen where the main hero doesn't pursue a certain goal. He simply jumps from one thing to another, like a feather in a wind. He never makes a decision about his destiny. Every time the decision is made for him. You wanna serve in Vietnam? Sure, why not? Wanna buy a boat and catch shrimp? Let's do it. Each and every time, Forrest comes out on top. He tells his story to random people and they don't believe him. How is it possible that a person born with mild mental disability does things that most people can't do? But that's not the full picture. The film shows us that we too can achieve success in any domain if we are truly devoted to it. Forrest possesses a handful of qualities that are essential for success. The most important of all is concentration on process and not on the end goal. Because it's hard to pay enough attention to everyday reality if you're constantly daydreaming about something else like fame or wealth. Even if the task is simple and boring, Forrest can fully concentrate on it for a decent amount of time. This is a necessary quality if you want to achieve expertise in any practice. Success isn't something magical or abstract, it's the result of constantly repeating routine, outcome of the seemingly insignificant and tedious actions we do every day. Forrest Gump has a huge advantage, his low IQ, which doesn't let him get bored and question practicality of repetition. He simply enjoys doing whatever he does, which in turn leads to excellence. There's a theory which says that you can achieve greatness only after 10,000 hours of practice. This is a generalized data applicable only for a small portion of population, and it doesn't reflect our aspirations. In reality, it is possible to achieve success much faster if you actually enjoy what you're doing. The notion of luck or fortune simply does not exist. Forrest became successful in football not because he was lucky, but because he loved running. His whole childhood he used to run away from bullies. In the army, Forrest started to play ping pong and he became so good at it that he won an international competition in China. Turns out it's very easy to be a ping pong world champion. You just have to do what Forrest did. Eat, sleep, and practice playing ping pong the rest of your day. When Forrest failed to catch shrimp on his boat, he didn't lose hope or give up. He kept trying until his little venture turned into a small empire. He didn't know much about shrimping, only what Baba told him before his death. When most people do something, they usually have a certain goal or motive behind it. Forrest Gump is not like that. Whatever he does it because he wants to, not because he follows an objective or tries to achieve an end goal. This is perfectly demonstrated in the scene where Forrest runs across America. People try to understand why is he doing it. What is he trying to achieve?
Are you doing this for the homeless?
Are you running for women's rights?
Or for the environment?
His followers were treating him like a messiah, like he's someone who knows something, as if he has the key, the secret. And while they were theorizing about the hidden meaning or the destination, Forrest was simply enjoying the journey. Another important aspect of Forrest's character is his complete lack of shame. Every time he shows up in public, he acts like an absolute idiot. He told to Kennedy that he wants to pee, showed his ass to President Johnson, and delivered speech in front of a huge crowd with microphones turned off. Fear of embarrassment, failure, or criticism is a useless emotion that imprisons your mind in hypothetical world of what if. It stops you from actually trying to do what you want and forces you to ponder on what may or may not happen in the future. The film reflects a lot about the idea of fate and destiny. We see that in Forrest's mom, in Lieutenant Dan, Jenny, Baba.
We all have a destiny. Nothing just happens, it's all part of a plan.
Just like them, most of us have some hope or expectation of what life should be like. All those characters are certain of what they want. They have goals and ambitions.
I want to be famous. I want to be a singer like Joan Baez.
I'm going into this rapping business for myself after I get out the army.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Not to me. I had a destiny.
But Forrest doesn't waste time on useless conversations about how things should be. He's one of those rare people who can actually see the miracles happening all around us.
Now, my mom always told me that miracles happen every day. Some people don't think so, but they do.
He's able to notice and appreciate those little moments of divine magnificence touching our lives while others simply choose to ignore it. Forrest managed to find opportunities in most unexpected and yet obvious instances. Ironically, while his more ambitious friends hesitate, Forrest gradually achieves all their dreams. He becomes a war hero as Lieutenant Dan wanted.
They gave you Congressional Medal of Honor.
He fulfills Jenny's desire to be famous.
I was a national celebrity, famouser even than Captain Kangaroo.
And succeeds in shrimp business like Baba was planning.
Bubba Gump Shrimp. It's a household name.
Here we see two distinct philosophies, two opposite worldviews. First is that we can't avoid our fate. Second is that we're in charge of our destiny. Standing over Jenny's grave, Forrest understood that his friend was right. Some things are inevitable and predetermined by fate. Some things happen by pure accident. But we can choose to react to those events differently and make our lives better.
If we each have a destiny, or if we're all just floating around accidental like on a breeze, but I think maybe it's both.
This is embodied in the main theme of the movie, the feather, which is the first and last thing we see in this film. Our destiny is determined by how we deal with the accidental circumstances that we encounter. This is what feather actually symbolizes. After all, it could land anywhere, but it lands next to Forrest, and Forrest picks it up as if seizing the chance that life gives to him. Forrest's mother used to say that life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. And as we can see, Forrest didn't get the sweetest chocolate from the box, but he compensates it with perseverance and his incredible gift of seeing miracles that happen every day. The film shows us how important it is to effectively use what we have.
You have to do the best with what God gave you.
You do your very best now, Forrest.
Forrest Gump is a story about a man who achieved everything without losing his integrity. It tells us that nothing is impossible if you have desire and will to change your life. In each of us, there's a person capable of everything. All you have to do is to let him out.